305 until I die.
305, baby.
Oh, sweet home Hialeah. I hate your traffic, but I love you. Ahora de Cuba la Bella, del Palacio de los Jugos, los chicharrones. Los vecinos aquí se enteran de todo.
Mi vecina era CDR en Cuba.
Y en verdad no hay nothing that you can do. Chacleteras sin llames con corbata.
Aquí yo vendo hot dog, pero en Cuba yo era médico.
Les saco el dedo y digo Q. Sweet home Hialeah. Solo 30 minutos de Le Bayo. Oh, sweet home Hialeah. I hate your traffic, but I love you.
Yo, what's up, Miami? This is Bobby Fins Talk with Alex and Tia Chisco with a new episode of East 10th Street Boys, straight out of Hialeah. Babel, how are you, brother?
Dímelo, mi brother. Everything good, man. Just a little tired. I had a sword fight with my son recently, so I'm a little exhausted. You know those little kids, sword fights always end up in you being stabbed, whooped on the floor. So, but all good, man. All good.
Oh. Hey, what's up, Cap? Good to see Cap already in the house. Appreciate you, brother, for always tuning in. Everyone tuning in. Smash that like and subscribe button.
Anthem.
Whether you're watching on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, or Facebook, we appreciate you always. Talking about sword fights with my kid right now, it's wrestling. All it is wrestling.
Good
He
times.
wants to all the time. Yeah. Supposedly he injured his elbow yesterday, so I said, oh man, it's gonna be like 2 to 3 months. You got to sit out. That's the champ has to sit out. You may have to relinquish the title. Today he was like, no, my arm is better. He started beating the hell out of me. So I said, all right, cool. So that's what he's doing right now, and he's into basketball big time. Got NBA 2K. He is riding. He is loving it.
Don't talk to me about NBA 2K, Bob. Ever since you told me about this whole this is a very upset. I'm gonna let the public. I'm gonna take back the curtain a little bit here. Bobby calls me on Sunday. It's like, bro, I got 2K3. I'm doing the era, starting the eras, and I'm like, oh, I'm hyped. I'm in a kid's party, so I'm like, oh, bro, when I get home, I'm gonna do it perfect, amazing. My son goes to sleep. I'm like, you know what? It was late. I'm not gonna lie. I was tired, but I'm like, you know what? Let me check it out. Bob, I spent like 35 minutes, bro, looking for this era, and I'm like, okay, Bobby told me it's here. It has to be here. I've looked everywhere. It's one of those things that like you start questioning. I'm like, damn, am I lost in technology? Like, is technology that much advanced that I'm lost? I looked everywhere. I'm like, you know what, bro? Let me go to the almighty Google, and I Googled the era, and he's like, oh no, you have to have a next generation console. I'm like, you know what, next generation? Fuck you, bro.
That I don't get. I'm gonna have to look that up. First off, RL Lyles, good to see you tuning in. Appreciate you. Rob of DolphinsThirsty.com. What's going on, brother?
Good evening, gentlemen.
Cap says, I just watched Judgment Day beat up KO and Sami Zayn. I heard my kids, they were just screaming about it. My daughter loves Judgment Day. She loves Dominic Mysterio, which I can't stand. I like Damian Priest from Judgment Day, though. Give that guy props. Boricua. But
saying that, Bobby, you being an American guy, I mean, I know you're Puerto Rican, but you saying that Dominic Mysterio and then automatically saying I can't stand, it's borderline racist.
No.
Borderline.
No, it's not why. No, it's not. Oh, man. But let me just say this. So talking about NBA 2K, because that's what you're about. You're talking about NBA 2K 23. So my first question to you is it the one with Devin Booker?
Yeah, that one for sure.
It is.
The problem is you need to have a next generation console. I have the Xbox One. You got the other one. You got the Xbox, the last one.
I got the Series X.
The Series X.
But that's weird that has to be like that. So what it is it's called NBA Eras, and it's basically franchise mode. But is Carlito back? Is he fighting now? Monday Night Raw? I know he came back for Backlash. But anyway, what's great about it is, okay, you got the 4 eras. You got, right? You have the Magic and
Larry Bird.
Larry Bird era,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you start off, and it's like a limited number of teams, and the rules are the same from back then. The cap space, everything. Then you got the
What was the cap, Bob? What was the cap in the 80s?
I haven't gone there yet. I haven't touched
Like
it yet.
7 million.
Yeah. Well, this was what's crazy. So there's that the Larry Bird, Magic Johnson era, which is Showtime Lakers. Then you got the Michael Jordan era, where everybody's trying to get Shaquille O'Neal, who's gets eventually drafted by the Magic, but not if you're playing. If you want to trade up the number one pick, you get Shaq. And then then you have the Kobe era, which is, that's the 03 teams. That's 02. You start off in 02.
LeBron's rookie year.
The LeBron draft class with D Wade, and that's the one I've been starting at. And so that who's playing in 02? Michael Jordan is playing his final year, or playing with Washington Wizards. Scottie Pippen is still there. David Robinson, those guys, which is kind of crazy to me. So and their contracts aren't crazy, So you go to 03, you start, you go to the draft class. You can obviously, depending on, you could go number 1 and draft LeBron James. You go 2, 3. Carmelo usually goes number 2. D Wade number 3, which is crazy to me, But it's free agency where I'm like, oh, if I kind of the max contract's like 15, 14 million, So if I at least get 20, I could probably bring in. Well, Gilbert Arenas was a free agent. Zoe, Tim Duncan's free agency unless he resigns. Michael Jordan if he doesn't retire. So it's a lot of fun, and obviously it's basically a fantasy because you can go, man, what if I ran the team back then? What would I have done? Will I still have taken D Wade if I had the number 1 pick, or would I would have went LeBron? And then the fourth era, of course, is the current era, which is right now, which I did today. I finally was able to have it simulated to today's game, which is, or tomorrow, the series for Wednesday, Boston, Miami. Everything's matching up, all the records, everything's the same. The NBA basically simulates it. So you're starting off right then and there, and either you could play that series or simulate it and ride out and see how it goes. So I've been playing with that. I simulated, it didn't go our way, but I'll tell you about the schedule. I'll tell you how the rosters look though, because I made some moves. I didn't do what you did. I think you're a traitor. You probably got pissed off, but
by the way, I started after all these moves, Bob. I started the next season 5-1.
Wow, that's amazing. I wonder how you'll look in the playoffs. So anyway, let's get into it, man. We're starting off. We're about 8 minutes in, and we're talking about video games. But hey, we talk about everything on East 10th Street, boys. And I'll show Alex later what I did with my roster, because I was able to keep Bam and Jimmy, and I brought in and I made a trade with the Magic because I had the 18th pick. I was able to also get the 27th pick, and I brought Mikal Fultz and Wendell Carter.
You got Wendell Carter?
I got Wendell Carter and Fultz.
What
so
you
I got Tyler Hero and a draft pick. Yep.
Why would you do that?
Because I need to balance out my roster. I'm going to tell you what my roster is when you get a chance. You're going to go, damn, Bobby, I wish you ran the Heat. And I'm like, I know. No, and just to let you know, based our converse, last week we talked about it, and you said, no, man, I told you about it. Yeah, maybe the week before, after you said it, after you saw what Miami did. But before the playoffs started, I was right. You were like, no, man, Heat have no chance. I don't see why they're going to win. They should just lose it out. I found the thing. I didn't send you the link just to let you know, though. I did look it up. So
don't worry about it. Look up all the links. Look up all of Fast Break. Look up everything.
I don't have to look up Fast Break. I'm talking about right before the playoffs. How'd you feel before the playoffs? Yeah.
Oh no, I told you. It honestly, I admit it. It was something clicked against the Bulls.
Absolutely. And you know what though? But
it didn't look good at all.
Let me just say, not the Western Conference Finals. It's totally different from what I thought. And you know what? It's exciting. It's going to be a good conference finals in the West. LeBron James and the whole Lakers team is really waking up. That's exciting.
But they still
Joker and Denver.
They don't got defense for Denver. Yeah,
Denver is going to be a scary matchup for whoever faces them. If it's going to be scary for the Lakers, and if they move on to the final, whether it's Boston or Miami, it's going to be a tough matchup against Joker.
And ideally, the best basketball would be Heat versus Nuggets in the finals, because I believe they're those two complete teams on both conferences. But
I think both of them have mean streaks.
Celtics and Lakers.
I think both have mean streaks. I could see a couple fights in the final. It'll be a classic, hard-hitting final.
Yeah.
And for the Eastern Conference, you know this because I told you and we talked about it. My prediction was that Miami and Boston would be the Eastern Conference final, and that is how it is. I do say before that all everything went down, I did have Boston taking Miami in the final. It was going to be Boston versus Phoenix, but after seeing what this Heat team has, and not saying that Miami is more talented than Boston. Boston has a lot of talent. Jason Tatum looked really good. I don't know, man. He shrinks in my opinion, in some of these big moments. And
you could arguably say that he rose in the biggest moment.
No. I'm saying not. I mean, usually last night he did great. You know, and I mean, he finally stepped up 50 some odd points or whatever. Maybe he awakens. You know, becomes the quote unquote green mamba that somebody called him, which I think is ridiculous. But I'm more worried about. Jaylen Brown is my biggest concern with the Heat. Him and Marcus Smart, they provide the toughest matchup. You know, they never go away. They never shrink. You know, Tatum can disappear some games. Brown does not. You know,
it's funny. Defensively, I think they're going to have a tough time in comparison to what they did against Philadelphia, because Philadelphia doesn't really have a defensive stopper. Only PJ Tucker. They play decent team defense, but not at all to the caliber of Miami. Now, I'll tell you this. One of my key things, obviously, role players are going to be huge. I do think Vincent and Lowry are going to play a huge role in this series because of what you mentioned. They're going to have to guard a lot of the wing. They're going to be major wing defenders with Caleb Martin also. Caleb Martin is going to be huge. But the number one thing, I want to see how they come out game one. And we cannot survive a bad shooting night repeatedly. We can survive one, but the shots have to be falling, because no matter what, if the shots are falling, it opens up those lanes for Bam and Butler. Duncan's space is going to be huge as well. So this series, people are going to be surprised by the production, and they've come. The analytics have shown Duncan is no longer a liability on defense in the playoffs. So that's a pleasant surprise. Honestly, that surprised me because I didn't see it coming. He moved decently, but he's improved a lot where he's not a liability anymore. Obviously, they're still going to protect him with Bam and Jimmy and Caleb out there, but it's a little bit more balanced attack. And at the end of the day, you can say that these playoffs, I do believe changes are coming, and like I told Clutch the other day, we're going to talk about that on Fast Break after the season is over. No matter when it ends, hopefully with the championship, changes will come, but we're not going to live in the moment because there's going to be some changes. Maybe not drastic, but
if the Heat win, if the Heat do pull off the Cinderella story and win it, I can't see any major things, but I do look at someone like a Duncan Robinson at $18 million. Or even a Kyle Lowry at 20+ million.
There's options, Bob. Remember, the season is still on for the most part, and there's gonna be surprises in regards to, for example, a James Harden or Chris Paul. Does Joel Embiid request anything, which I doubt. What is Dame Lillard gonna do in Portland? So there's a lot of things that can trick. What does Kyrie want? Well, who's going to sign and trade for him if he doesn't re-sign with Dallas? There's going to be a lot of storylines. A lot of dominoes are going to fall. Obviously, with the Suns are going to make moves. I also with obviously they
Chris
made a move
Paul.
with the head coach. Yeah, Chris Paul. They brought it up, and Harden supposedly is looking at Phoenix. I can see a sign and trade scenario where Chris Paul is traded to Philadelphia. He reunites with Doc, and Harden rides it out over there to Phoenix because the money works. I can also see a scenario where we sign and trade for Harden and we give up Lowry to Philadelphia because the money works, and he's going to leave either way. But it's going to be interesting. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but the Heat either way, the thing I was going to mention, no matter what you do, you can say that these playoffs also regain stock value for Kyle Lowry, for Duncan Robinson. Kyle on an expiring deal. He's no longer a bad asset. Duncan Robinson, some team will snatch him up for his shooting alone. So that's something that this offseason, we're going to be more in control of our destiny no matter what. And just being in playoffs alone, there's a lot of players in the league right now that you know it, but it's very different when you see it and you see the culture level, the resiliency, not giving up. Especially, for example, what you saw with Philadelphia and Joel Embiid. I love Joel Embiid, but his comments that just came out and directly said that they need more help. Like
Mm-mm.
you, as an MVP of this league, no matter how hurt you are, you've never seen a Miami
That
Heat
was a
player.
bad look, man. That was a bad
Horrible.
look.
Horrible.
Our friend, brother, and of the contributor on the network, Dave Stager, Brett Legassi, both Philadelphia 76ers fan.
Yep.
Dave hated those comments. He
Absolutely. Rightfully
excoriated
so.
Joel Embiid, who's obviously the star player and MVP, deservingly so, one of the best players in the NBA. But to come out and say that to your team when you guys shrunk in that big moment,
You got
when Harden
blown
was
out,
a
bro.
no-show,
Blown out.
you dare to say we can't be the ones leading the way? You weren't leading anything.
You
You
could
were
keep that in
gone,
yourself. You could keep that within. But look at the comparison. They brought up Jimmy's press conference from last year after we lost Game 7. And what did he say? Next year we're gonna be better. We're
He
gonna
said
be
it.
in
We're
the
going to
same
be right here in the
situation,
same spot.
and we're gonna make it work. And we're gonna finish the job. And we're basically here again.
Think
So
about what
that's
Jimmy
a
has
leader.
done, man. What Jimmy has done for his career. He would have been one of these guys, and I don't mean to say in a bad way because he's always a good player, but he would have been one of those, just a good player. Jimmy Butler, man, you want him on your team. And if he never went to the Heat and he kind of just kept going, he would have been like, goodness gosh, Andre Iguodala, a very good player that you would want him on a team. He could probably help you in a championship series, whatever. He left Philadelphia, went to Miami, and basically he really did put himself out from star to one of the superstars, maybe one of the best players in basketball, especially in the playoffs. The way he carries himself as a leader, the way he carries himself on the court during the playoffs. I mean, this dude doesn't take breaks. And you got to give, first off, I just want to say this. We haven't talked. Jalen Brunson, give that dude his flowers.
Oh, man.
Jalen Brunson did one hell of a job for the Knicks.
I was
I'm not going to lie to you.
Dave, actually, while
I was this
going
close. It wasn't realistic, so I didn't want to do it. But during those, when I was trying to investigate trades, when I'm doing franchise or errors mode, Brunson and the center, oh my goodness, I'm losing his name.
Mitchell Robinson.
Were both made available to me in a deal for Tyler or whatever. And I was like, oh, I would do it. I would do it in a heart.
That would be a good trade.
I would do it, but that's not real. They're not going to get rid of Brunson, dude.
Of course not.
Brunson, that dude is a superstar.
Now, flip this.
Play like a superstar.
Flip this. Imagine this. Mark Cuban has led 2 point guards leave in their prime.
Yep.
Steve Nash.
Yep.
And Jalen Brunson. I understand the Brunson angle where they were pushing to go to New York. His dad, Rick Brunson, is on the Knicks staff. He's an assistant. So I understand that. But they still could have given him more money in Dallas, and he probably would have stayed in Dallas. I mean, play next to Luka, you don't see the difference. But now, obviously, him being literally in the Big Apple, you see the difference in his game, and he's just automatic, bro. There's no way to guard him. If the Knicks
get a legit
Vincent Garden, decent.
I think they made themselves very attractive to a possible superstar who butts his way out free.
Their offense was stagnant, bro. Their offense was either Brunson.
Yeah, they need to get someone else.
That's it.
I think if you put a superstar on that team, I don't know who I'm talking about. Like, I hate to say KD because KD's another one who has a big bullseye on him right now. But you put someone on there, I think the Knicks could go pretty far. And I just want to say very quick, I know we're talking Miami Heat, we're talking Dolphins, we're going to talk Panthers. Yeah. We didn't have the Marlins on the docket. But what's funny is Alex and I did not talk before showtime, and we are wearing Marlins hats. I'm wearing Florida Marlins. He's the past and the present over there. So there you go.
And before we forget, because I know we'll go on a rampage, and I completely forgot. When you were talking about Jimmy Butler, the difference in his career is Eric Spoelstra. The way they're using him here in Miami, he was never utilized in this magnitude offensively and defensively. Obviously, when you have Bam next to you, it gives you more opportunities to roam. We all knew who Jimmy was. I mean, and Tibbs ran him to the ground in Chicago. So we knew he was durable. But the complexity of him as a player, that's what, and it's funny because I was listening to, it was Skolnick on 5 Reasons like a day ago when he was talking about when they signed him and Pat said that he was, top 10 two-way player in the NBA. People were like, oh, yeah, that's Pat just being Pat. And I'm like, they're going to make him. They're going to allow him to be himself. And he's finally comfortable. So when you're comfortable as a player, you basically achieve. There is no ceiling for you. You achieve everything you're meant to be. He has the ball more. He's under control more offensively. He's playing his game. And if you notice, Butler really has a 90s game to him. Like Butler attracts defense,
yes,
great
he
contact.
will fit, he would have fit perfectly, and that's what I'm saying. Like, yes, I agree with you. You know what what the Heat organization has done to benefit to help Jimmy. Jimmy has benefited from the Heat.
Yes,
but it is a self-motivating thing. It is him.
Absolutely.
It's the work he has put in, and that's why I believe. And I'm not throwing names out there. I know I've seen people put the little pictures out there of Joel Embiid on the Heat. You never know what could from your lips to God's ears. But I do believe that if you were to get a player, I mean, you listen to Joel Embiid, you go, what kind of shit are you? First of all, he's a great guy. He's not a bad dude. He's just a bad.
And he's hurt.
Bad way to say it. I think he said it the wrong way. However, if you put a Joel Embiid on this Heat team with a Jimmy Butler next to him, he's not making those comments. In this organization, he ain't making those comments. He ain't playing like that.
I mean, Bob, you saw the difference when Jimmy was playing in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
You can't teach that. But that's why you gravitate towards each other.
Tomorrow, let me just say this, Alex. Tomorrow, you and I are going to be back right here. We're going to be live at 8:15 Eastern time to watch the NBA draft lottery. Obviously, the Heat are not in the lottery. We'll be covering the whole NBA. Who is the Victor? How do you say his last name? Wembanyama. And I appreciate you being on, and because me and Clutch are going to be debating this. We wanted you to join, and thank you for coming. Obviously, hopefully Justin can make it. I don't know if he's traveling or not. I'm going to check out, too. I'm going to see if maybe some of the old crew might come. Maybe we'll get Neil or something. I don't know.
By all means. And I do appreciate what I like about this is because if you can host it, kind of like you do that at all.
I know
you give our panel. I love that because I miss that when it comes to basketball. It gives us the opportunity to focus and just go after each other.
Yes.
But tomorrow's going to be fun because finally the NBA has a formula where it doesn't really reward tanking. It gives you an even playing field. Yeah. So there's going to be some people upset tomorrow if a certain ping pong ball lands in a wrong spot.
Dude, I have it, and I have it in front. I have it. Gosh, I'm going to mute my mic for a second. Hold on a second.
Go ahead.
Because I want to get those papers because I do want to talk about those odds. And what I'm saying is everybody, first of all, thank you all for tuning in. We're still going here, but we do have NBA draft lottery coverage tomorrow. It's going to be us. We're going to be talking about the draft lottery, but we're also going to be discussing game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final, which is on Wednesday. Miami Heat versus the Boston Celtics. The third time in 4 years, the fourth time in history in the Eastern Conference, the Miami Heat and Boston Celtics going one-on-one for the Eastern Conference Championship.
Bob, did you see the stat of the last 13 years of the Eastern Conference Finals? It's been either Celtics Heat or Celtics or Heat. I think it was like 9-10 times. It was
Spoelstra was there for like 7 times. I saw Spoelstra's name 7 times in there.
You know what's fun? I still haven't paid for The Athletic, but I saw an article that came out in regards to Spo, what he did with Josh Richardson. Did you read that part? That little expert?
I did not. No, you're gonna have to send it to me.
Oh my god!
Let me grab my.
I didn't open it. I just read that.
Let me see. I don't want to yell here. I'll be like, Tati, meatloaf. Meatloaf.
Oh, do it. Do it live on it. Do it live on it.
Hey, Tati. Was that too loud?
Epic, guys. This is epic. No, it's perfect. That's perfect.
Tati, meatloaf.
But you got to repeat it. Remember, like that's the part that gets aggravated.
I'm asking for my backpack, which has the papers in there.
This is the best part. Damn, he muted himself. You can't do that, bro. You got to talk loud. Talk loud. Just do it, bro. We're live. Fuck it. We'll do it live. It's like a mute person screaming.
One time you're not listening.
Exactly, right? Well, while he's muted, he has an ugly-ass face. Look at that face. He can still hear me, though. So I know he's muted, but he can still hear me. But look at that ugly face. Look at that face. Look at those fingers. Such as fingers. Look at
that. Stupid ass. So as we're waiting on that, hopefully he can find it for me.
He can find it for you.
My man. Watch out. Don't touch nothing. What are you touching for?
Oh, what's up, little guy? I see you.
He's here. My assistant. He loves playing NBA 2K.
I'm not gonna lie. With that, it's a little creepy. Just seeing his little head show up.
I know.
And that little.
Don't touch nothing, dude. You just made it full screen. You're touching stuff. All right, get
whoa,
out of here.
Whoa. That's some phlegm there, bro.
I know. Ooh, Jesus.
Some Bivaporru. Look, there you go. Word of the day.
Coronavirus. No,
Bivaporru.
Okay, so
Coronavirus.
here we go.
Coronavirus.
So Tristan, close the door. He made it full screen, so if anybody comments, forgive me. I can't see it right now. Alex could mess with it. All right, so NBA draft lottery odds. So here are the teams that are not in the lottery. First off, number 15 is the Atlanta Hawks. Then you got the Minnesota Timberwolves added from Utah.
Yes.
The Lakers are at 17, no matter what happens, right, Alex? No matter how far.
No matter. The NBA
it's set in
doesn't.
stone.
Yeah, it's set in stone.
18 is Miami.
Yes.
Golden State at 19. The Clippers are 20. The Phoenix
Suns.
The
coin flip. We won the coin flip with Golden State. And
there you go.
And Phoenix.
The Phoenix Suns are at 21. Brooklyn, 22. The Knicks at 23. The Kings, 24. Memphis, 25. Cavaliers at 26. Nuggets at 27. 76ers at 28. Boston, Milwaukee, 29 and 30. Here are the team with the best, actually, 3 teams with odds that are tied. Detroit Pistons, Houston Rockets, San Antonio Spurs. All 3 have 14% chance to get the number 1 overall pick. There's gonna be so much attention on this. The Charlotte Hornets are I would say in second place because they're all tied for the first and second place.
Yeah, second percent.
Second place is Charlotte Hornets with 12.5%. Portland Trailblazers
Think about that.
10.5%.
I
know
2% difference.
I'm saying, think about this. So Portland Trailblazers 10.5%, 9% Orlando Magic, 6.5, 6.8 Indiana, Washington 6.7, Utah 4.5, Dallas, Chicago, Oklahoma, Toronto, New Orleans 14. Think about this for a second. Any of these teams are going to hit it off. Imagine, but think about if Charlotte got Victor.
A small
with LaMelo Ball.
Oh my God, that's the thing. This is the part where you don't want to say it's rigged, but for so long, when Chicago won the lottery, Derrick Rose was the first overall pick. Chicago beat the odds and got the first overall pick. When LeBron was the first overall pick, I don't believe Cleveland had the worst record, so I think they beat the odds again, and they got the first overall pick. I'm not gonna say it's rigged, but I'm pretty sure the NBA will find a way to navigate, and when Bayama will end up in a place that, well, I'm gonna refrain from that. When Bayama's a market within himself, it's kind of like LeBron in Cleveland. Cleveland was never a big basketball market.
Let me just
end up
tell you,
anywhere.
So for me, the 2 teams that really jump out, and of course you can easily say Detroit, Houston, San Antonio, Charlotte, you go, or even Portland. You could go, obviously they're the highest odds, right? But out of the 14%, I say San Antonio. I think San Antonio is a perfect fit. I think just makes a lot of sense. The other one, again, I think which should shock people, but I think would be great for the market because even though they just had a top pick, is the Magic. I think the Magic.
Oh yeah.
I would, is there any team on that list that you go, he'd be perfect there, or it would, or which? I'll say this. Okay, say that, but then which one would make you go, hold on a second?
If Portland or Dallas wins the lottery.
That's where you go. That's
what I'm like, whoa. I mean, because you have Luka and you got Dame Lillard.
Well, Portland though has 10.5 though, 10.5%.
That's the thing, and there. I want to see.
I was calling you, didn't come. Next time.
It's not gonna end well. You heard that door? You heard that door lock? Oh man.
She looked at me. She went, "Oh, I went, oh."
She's gonna come. She's gonna come in now. Look, okay. I really want Wembanyama to go somewhere where he's gonna develop. Obviously, out of those places, I think he can succeed in Houston.
Houston's interesting.
Houston
and another contributor to the channel, Mike B, and I think Alex B. And Alfred, I think they're Houston. I know Mike is, but I think those guys are.
Talk to Alfred. He's gonna be a Buffalo Wild Wings because I told him that we switch the show to do it on Tuesday. So I told him if they don't get the pick, he can call in. But obviously, if he's not banned, if he's not kicked out, because you're gonna go ape shit.
Whoever gets the number 1 pick is gonna flip the hell out.
Oh yeah. And if you don't, the draft is not a bad drop.
Yeah, but what prospect is being slept on, dude? There's a lot of good players in this draft, and everybody's eyes is on the 7'4" kid. But which prospect is it like, hey, if you don't get this guy, you're okay. You're getting this dude.
Scoot? Scoot, obviously, that's number 1 and 2, no matter what. Then you got Imani Bates.
Yeah.
The roster, this draft class is deep, and tomorrow we'll talk about it, like whilst we're going through the picks. But you know what? I'm gonna keep my eye on the kids, Wong and Miller. I think they're gonna have nice NBA careers. They obviously they might be role players, but they're gonna make a difference. And I believe they're false first round talents. So it's gonna be fun, man. I mean, either way, Bob.
61 through. Okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
No, Imani Bates was highly recruited.
He was.
He dropped off. And you have a series of the kid from Alabama. I forgot his name right now. It's Jordan. No, it's not. No, Jordan Miller's UM. Oh my God, the one that was facing all these issues, with a gun. He was the owner of the gun, or wasn't his?
Is it Noah Clowney?
No. Oh my, it's Brad. I think it's Brad. Is it Brad? Oh my, I completely blanked out right now. He's the kid from Alabama. He's like he's gonna be top 5. Shit. Whatever.
Oh, Brandon Miller.
Brandon Miller. Thank you. Completely I was thinking Brad Miller, the center of the Kings.
What a cool name, Grady Dick.
Oh, that's the white kid, bro. He's a stud, man.
Of course he would. If his name's Grady Dick, you know damn well which kind of.
Hey, can you imagine like the chance I could start? We want.
Give us dick. What? Hold on. What?
And you technically can't do anything because
you can't. You just gotta. It's like, hey, they're fair, man. Can't argue that. They want.
Okay, Bob. Let's think about a cool nickname that he can have in the NBA. Like you can't go D Wade style. You can't go G Dick.
Bonerific.
Bonerific. There we go. Big dick.
What kind of crap is that? Oh, okay. So we'll be watching the draft lottery and previewing tomorrow. And Alex, I will go ahead and I will lead it. So that will be fun. I knew you would say that.
Oh,
so let me ask this. So let's take a look very quick.
Go ahead.
Pull this up.
Chris
is messing up my.
I wonder if like Grady Dick when he said like, oh, his pullout game is amazing.
Oh no! All right, so Heat versus Boston again. This is the third time in 4 years the Heat. The series is split, right? I guess if you want to say the history.
Yeah, but you could throw all these out.
So here's the regular season results from this season. All right, because Harrison says Harrison, my younger brother. He called me today. He says the Heat are going to get swept.
Oh my God, bro! What?
Yeah. Well, you know how he is. You don't know what's trolling or not. But let's talk about this for a second. October 24th, the Boston Celtics beat the Miami Heat 111-104. November 30th, 134-121. Then the Heat win the last two, 120-116 in overtime. December 2nd. Then the Heat win the final matchup of the regular season in their series, 98-95. On January 24th. Obviously, regular season is different because as I've been saying all along this past season, is that playoff basketball is different, especially when it comes to the Miami Heat. Do the Miami Heat have a tough task ahead of them? Abso-freaking-lutely. We know no one should sleep on Boston. They got a great young nucleus that has grown together. They've been through hell together. They lost in the finals last year. They got a chip on their shoulder, but so does the Miami Heat. There's no way that this is a sweep for Boston. And I could see why Boston might be favored, but if you're sleeping on Miami for any reason after seeing what they've done and you're using every excuse in the book, like, Giannis was hurt. Oh, but they're facing the Knicks. Oh, but BS. The Miami Heat have shown that they belong in these playoffs. They have shown that they are the real deal, that they have shown that they have a legit shot to make a big run here. And people need to start putting respect on their name. I will say, I love what Joy Taylor said, Alex. When people were bringing up about, I think it was Emmanuel Acho or whatever his name was, and they were talking trash on the Heat. And she just basically said, who has the most wins? Who has the most playoff wins since 2019? She said it's not Golden State. It's not the Lakers. It's not Milwaukee. It's not Boston. It's the Miami Heat. And all of a sudden, you just see them kind of go.
Look, I'm gonna say something that I'm really not a homer with this. I'm really not, but like you mentioned, something clicked. It's crazy because we've talked about it from the beginning of the season and repeatedly. If you go back to all our episodes, me and Clutch, I was talking about. I cannot quantify. I cannot explain why the shooting is off. I can't explain it. I cannot give you a basketball explanation of why their shooting was off the whole year, why it finally clicked. I do understand all those clutch games were always going to come into play in the season because under pressure in the fourth quarter, this team is not frightened by anything. This team is not moved by anything. They see the goal and they go for it. Now, I'm going to go as far to say this, Bob. If there's a sweep in this series, is the Heat sweeping the Celtics. I don't think it's going to happen, but I believe it's more likely for the Heat to sweep the Celtics and the Celtics to sweep us. The way I saw the Celtics play against the Sixers, I know Tatum woke up and he had a decent game 6 in the fourth quarter. Because of him, they made it back to Boston, and then he could be on a run. I'm not gonna lie. But defensively, Miami presents more trouble to Boston than the Sixers did. I prefer the Sixers matchup for us because I know we match up better with them.
Yes.
But I wanted the Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals because you want to go through them.
You want to get over that hump. You want to get over that hump.
You want to go through them. You don't want to be like, oh, yeah, but they didn't beat them. No. I want – number one, they said that we couldn't beat the Bucks. The Bucks were the Bucks honestly was the team that scared me the most in the Eastern Conference. And we beat them in 5. So this series, I got us going to 6. I do believe Miami's going to close out just like they did this past series, where we lose going back to Boston and then we close it out game 6. But depending how these 2 games go in Boston, we can sweep this. And I'll tell you, this is the most important part. Kevin Love is going to be huge. He has to be hitting those shots. Those shots have to be falling. Gabe Vincent shots have to be falling.
Wait, you say Miami could sweep the Celtics?
I think Miami, if everything falls in place the first 2 games, we could sweep them. I'm not saying we will, but if depending how we come out this game 1 and punch them right in the mouth, I understand they got Tatum and they got Brown. I understand their offensive firepower.
So you say, dude,
number 1.
My mom had a shell, she'd be a turtle. I mean, there's a chance that the Heat could sweep the Boston Celtics, but it's not realistic.
You know what I'm trying to say, Bob. You know what I'm trying to say. Like,
come on, man.
When people had us going against the Bucks, they said that we were going to get swept.
We
could have swept the Bucks easily. The Knicks, it's going to go 7. New York, we could have swept the Knicks. I don't think people understand this. When everything is clicking, the only thing that was missing from this team being a number 1 seed was their shooting percentage, the way they're shooting in the playoffs. We could have been a number 1 seed in the East if the shooting was there. So I don't think people realize the importance of. They talk about the depth of the Celtics. We have depth, even missing Hero and Oladipo. And that's another thing. People are expecting Hero to come back. Hero can't even dribble. And you saw it today when Spo said Hero's not going to come back this series. I don't think he should come back even for the finals. You don't mess with what you have going on right now. You don't. I wouldn't touch it. I understand it's Tyler Hero.
That answers Cap's question. And in the
Bam needs to conquer his demons with dominating the paint. Well, you can argue that Bam is going to give more trouble to the Celtics than Joel Embiid did. So I have no problem whatsoever. I think Bam is over that hump, especially against the Celtics.
Well, the Bam offers a little more in regards of what he can do. Not that the MVP, the league MVP, is limited in any way, but Bam could be all over the floor. He could do it all. He could be a point forward, point center, whatever you want to call it. Vincent and Martin aren't like off the bench with Duncan is key. Absolutely.
I'm telling you, this is if people didn't realize it now. Take the Suns for example. Obviously, you go for KD, you acquire him, but what happened? You traded away all your depth. Chris Paul gets hurt. That team, you have firepower, but DeAndre Ayton disappears. He's injured. But it's important. Role players are important when you're making deep playoffs runs. People
love that comparison. Love that
comparison. Absolutely. And you can say even better because defensively he's much better than Mike Miller, even though Mike Miller was a great rebounding guard.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting. We'll touch more back on it tomorrow before game 1 on Wednesday, which everyone's going to be watching. Miami Heat going to the Eastern Conference Finals. They're not alone, though. The Florida Panthers are also going to the Eastern Conference Finals, where they're going to face the Carolina Hurricanes, which is pretty damn cool. I think I was trying to see and maybe somebody could correct me. Who's the favorite to win? I know that two people that I respect their opinion when it comes to hockey both say that the Panthers have a legitimate shot to go all the way.
Yeah.
Go all the way, which would be great for Miami. It'd be great. Do you think pinning the Celtics on the wall is a good idea? No, I do not. No, they got that little fire in them. I think Alex, did you say something about pinning the Celtics against the wall?
What do you mean pinning them against the wall?
Mr. Moya TV, and always thank you for tuning in, Moya, said that about, and that's one thing I do agree with Cap very quick. Carolina has always had our number out. That was the team I wanted to avoid in the playoffs just because Florida Panthers struggle against Carolina. But it's also good for Florida because if Florida could beat Carolina, overcome them, as you say, conquer the demon, that's great news against whoever's their finals opponent. You said pinning them against the wall, the Celtics, in regards of winning, because you said four straight.
I want to see how they come out game 1 and obviously game 2. Because based on those outcomes, obviously, if you go 2-0, you have a chance to sweep them. I get that. It's a higher probability. But I want to see the mental aspect of both teams come game 1. Because the Celtics are resilient. They have a rookie head coach. They saw the difference. He's not afraid to make a change. And he inserted Robin Williams back into starting lineup. That made a huge difference. But I feel that with Kevin Love and Bam, we do have a mix there in the front court and the start. And then you got Caleb Martin coming in. These are people that you didn't really rely on last year. And for those that think that this team is worse than it was last year, this team is much better than it was last year, even with us missing Hero and Oladipo. This team has now a more offensive identity than they did last year going into the Celtics. And you can say Jimmy's hurt, his ankle. You can tell his ankle was bothering him. I believe he's going to be okay, but he might start a little slower and get his team involved. And then obviously he'll go into his takeover.
And that's why I agree right now with Cap that just popped up. Cap says Marcus Smart must be stopped, bro. I absolutely agree. Marcus Smart and Jaylen Brown are my concerns with the Celtics. They're the ones that are going to give us headaches. Who's
going to be huge in that defense? Vincent.
Yeah, Gabe Vincent.
Gabe Vincent's going to be huge this series. You'll see. Absolutely. And Lowry coming off the bench.
Absolutely. And again, I just want to come out of this series. Of course, we want to win this series in regards to the Heat, but I want to come out of this series healthy enough that it's not like the finals with the Lakers where we're limping and Jimmy has to basically kill himself just to come up short. I want a basically healthy team. And look, I know I'm with you on the Hero thing, but if he is healthy enough to play, a few minutes off the bench here and there, think about that X factor.
He could come in the same role as Robinson or Strus like that.
Absolutely. All right, so let us, since we're at the 43-minute mark, and we are going to be live tomorrow for the draft lottery and talk more Miami Heat with Clutch, and if we could get someone else to join us. And again, maybe we open up the lines. If you're tuning in now and you want to talk Heat and NBA,
tomorrow,
we'll open it up. We'll drop the link. Come join us. Put your thoughts out there. To be straight up basketball, we're going to have a blast. So let's talk Dolphins for a minute. And, like I said, the Florida Panthers, the Miami Heat have made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. It's a great time to be a South Florida fan, sports fan. Jamila says, good night. Not yet. But, man, Alex, we knew what teams the Dolphins were going to face, but we didn't know what the schedule was going to look like.
Mm-hmm.
I did have a show when the schedule got released, and of course I had Finn's Talk today. I haven't got your thoughts on that. I do want to talk about two kind of crazy tweets, and I don't want to go nuts with these topics because I know we can. But I see a tweet out here, and
throw it out. Ready? I'm ready, bro.
This is gonna be crazy. Ready. Are you ready? Try not to. There's two.
Let me not do the John
There's two of them, so I don't want you to. I don't want you to overreact.
I'll react. You want me to react after the second one? Better?
No. React to the first one because they're two.
Okay.
They both have to do with the Dolphins, but they two separate things and both equally crazy in my opinion.
Okay.
First, the majority consensus around this is from NFL notifications on Twitter.
Okay.
The majority consensus around the league is that Chargers quarterback Justin Herbert is a top 5 quarterback, while his Dolphins draft peer Tua has been a bust. But here are some eye-popping stats from the 2022 season. Tua, touchdown percentage, second in the NFL. Herbert, 21st in the NFL. Yards attempt, first for Tua, 27th for Herbert. Yards per catch, first for Tua, 30th for Herbert. Rating, second for Tua, 12th for Herbert. QBR, second for Tua, 12th for Herbert. Tell me why, Alex. Why is there, which I don't know what consensus he's talking about. I know that some people around the NFL have a different opinion of Tua. I guess it depends on your flavor of quarterback, apparently. Or because he was, I don't know, because he's the 5th overall pick and he's not, quote unquote, the guy people would think he is or what they thought he was going to be. Why is the majority consensus around the league, which I don't think is true, would consider Tua a bust?
Okay.
What's the stigma there? What's up?
I'm not even going to take a second guess. I probably know the second tweet you're going to show me because I saw it and I thought it was insane. I retweeted the same tweet that you just mentioned because I saw the level of this is everything we said last year. This was the perfect offense for Tua. So then people that don't understand Tua, they're going to obviously just place the whole success on the offense. Yes, it's a much easier offense for him, et cetera, et cetera. I do believe that people have this agenda in regards to Tua. And it's insane because it's our own fan base. I'm not saying you got to be a homer because you shouldn't be a homer. You have to be analytical as a fan. You have to understand you can have your fandom, which can be irrational at times. But when you analyze talent, I'm just saying we're not experts. But when you analyze a player, you got to go with the good and the bad. Okay, we understand he's a little bit undersized. We can't say he's not strong as shit because he is strong as shit. You can't say that he's not resilient because he is resilient. And the numbers, I think, speaks for itself last year when he was playing comfortable, quote unquote, behind a bad line. He has Tyreek Hill, he has Jalen Waddle, he has the weapons. He has a head coach that's going to utilize those weapons. So I do believe every quarterback, no matter what, is a balance between your talent, who you have on the roster, and who your coaching is, who your coach is. Because no matter what, you have Herbert putting up, like Moya just said right here, you had Herbert put up consistent numbers, but you didn't really see Tua's potential in full display until you saw it last year. So now I want to see Tua, obviously last year you saw, I want to see him this year. I want to see him the following year because that's what gives you the consistency. But this whole consensus, you can argue and you can compare stats and you can leave it open up to interpretation. But this whole consensus that Herbert is a franchise quarterback, why? Is it because he's white, 6'5", and has a cannon for an arm? Like, that to me, that's the part that bothers me when they talk about consensus better quarterback. Like, I understand he might have a stronger arm. He has a stronger arm. You can say that Tua's more accurate. You can say Tua's a slightly bit more athletic. So there's many ways to go here, but I don't see how you can have a consensus and go ahead and say that Herbert is a franchise quarterback and Tua's not.
No, I'd say first off, again, I think part of the nail on the head there is when, and again, I always say full disclosure during the draft process before then is the quarterback I had preferred Miami draft if it wasn't Joe Burrow was Justin Herbert. But if you go, first off, I think it's a little too early and a little unfair to say Tua's a bust. Tua's in his third year. And, we're going into his fourth year now. In his third year, he showed with the talent around him, especially 8-3, that he could be a very good starting quarterback in the NFL.
He's not a bust.
Yes, yeah. And if he did, if quote unquote, like, all right, let me get this point across first. Yes, I don't know about the white thing. You can say that, but in regards of prototypical size, the arm talent, what you look for in a quarterback, Justin Herbert is that. Tua at 6 foot tall and whatever, which he's not Bryce Young, and I like Bryce Young, but he's not Bryce Young. He has muscle on him.
Now that you
he's
say
accurate.
Did you see the picture of Bryce Young behind the line?
Yes. Yeah.
Doesn't that look like our son playing?
Yeah.
Quarterback.
But what I'm saying is, I don't know how you could look at these numbers or look at him last year, I can understand if you still have question marks on him or the questions you have on him. You go, oh, look what he's doing 8-3. And then at the end of the season where it kind of falls short and he, whether you blame the coaching staff or not, he's a part of it. And you go, oh, look, I told you so.
Yeah.
You look at him at 8-3, you're seeing a pretty dang good quarterback. Franchise quarterback or not, I'd say he's a very good quarterback. And the questions is not, is he going to be a bust? Because I don't think he is. If he gets injured and is out and retires before, like let's say this year, God forbid, or before his first contract is up, then he's a bust, not by his fault, but because he got injured.
Yeah, and he's not really a bust per se because
he wouldn't be he would not be a bust if he's not. I just don't understand that concept.
People look at him and like they think that he can't play the quarterback position.
No, the two things he has to answer this year, which you and I have discussed, is one, he has to stay healthy throughout the whole season. I don't care if it's concussions, ankle, hip, back, whatever. I mean, not say healthy the whole season. Nobody can. Sometimes things happen. But if you miss a game or two, okay, that happens. But you can't play less than or 13 games. You got to play more than that this year. Another thing is consistently good. You can't, 8-3 is really nice, but guess what? The season doesn't end at 8-3. You got to perform the whole season through. You got to lead your team. When your team is struggling, you need to be the difference. We could blame the coaching staff. We can blame the line. We could blame the drop ball. But there's other guys who put the team on their back and move forward. Tua has to be consistently throughout the whole season. Those are going to be his responses. That's what the question mark is. Is Tua a bust? That's not the question. Tua is not a bust.
Yeah.
And it's not fair to say that he's a bust right now. He's 3 years into his career. But you want to put legitimate questions there. There it is. Can he stay healthy this season long enough past 13 games? And can he be consistently good enough? Yes, 8-3 is very nice, but I'm not leaning for 8-3 because the job's not done. Is he playing in the playoff game? That's the question. And how's he doing throughout the season?
And one thing, Bob, that's always really bothered me, especially when the conversation about Tua. Oh yeah, but he has Tyreek Hill and he has Jalen Waddle. Of course, he's going to perform well. Every great quarterback has had great receivers as well. Like if I remove Reggie Wayne and Marvin Harrison from Indianapolis and give Peyton Manning a bunch of third-string wide receivers, I'm pretty sure Peyton Manning wouldn't put in the numbers that he was putting up at times. And he's still Peyton Manning. If I remove Randy Moss from Tom Brady in that record-setting year, he's still not going to be putting up these insane numbers.
But look, don't say that because that's not fair to Tua because Tom Brady won Super Bowls without Randy Moss. He didn't win a Super Bowl with Randy Moss. Who was Tom Brady's receivers during the Super Bowl runs?
Deion Branch. Who was the other one?
Exactly. That's it.
He had Benjamin Watson. He had Ben Watson.
Wes Welker. All those guys.
Wes Welker was the end.
Were those guys at a talent of Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle?
Of course, man.
Of course not.
Wes Welker is like a Jalen Waddle, like a white Jalen Waddle.
Oh, Alex, stop it with your white and stuff. God.
But what I'm saying, my argument here, obviously Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback of all times, but every player has played with great players as well. It really bothers me when they move the goalpost and it's like, oh no, because Tua has Hill and Mahomes had Hill the years before. Now Mahomes won last year without Hills. He still has Kelsey, a great tight end. You need great players no matter what. Like I've never understood comparing talent. Because he has this guy. Everybody wants to have talent. Everybody wants to have good receivers. So you cannot just shift back and forth. It's
the same way. It goes both ways, but I get absolutely what you're saying. I mean, you got to first off, what would we have said if you had all those weapons and then Tua shit the bed?
There you can say, but like he can't play.
Yeah, but if they say like, oh, he's only performing great because he has these weapons, well, he better be. He better be freaking lighting it up with those weapons. He better be having a damn good season with those weapons. Because if he didn't, there'd be a bigger issue. I don't care. And guess what? I don't need him to be a superstar or the best quarterback on the field or the top 5 quarterback. He could be top 10, top 15. As long as we're winning games and going to the Super Bowl, I don't give a damn. But he better not be crapping the bed with that roster, with that offense.
Mm-hmm.
So
Moya says something good. The San Francisco, look, there's games he had a bad game. I'm not gonna lie. He had a few bad games to San Francisco, the Buffalo. So we did lose a few games where he was fully healthy and he was just outmatched. He didn't have the proper reads. I know the whole Green Bay situation.
Well, and that's something, again, that's growth.
So,
that's something you're looking for
growth.
this year. Okay,
Absolutely.
8-3. Again, everybody goes, oh, we're 8-3. That's nice. I like 8-3. I enjoy 8-3.
McDaniel's also going to help him out.
Well, McDaniel's in his second year, and he needs to show some growth as well. But he has to show up. Tua this year, he has to stay healthy, yes, but it also has to show up like those 5 games where he struggled. And, he has to be available during the playoff. That's the question mark. Not that he's a bust, because he's not. That's not a fair assessment to say.
I just want
those other 2 things, absolutely fair. But don't say he's not. It's a joke to say that. And if you're saying he's a bad quarterback, as some people say,
it's just
I don't know how you could say it. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. You're trolling or whatever you're saying.
You can tell me. Honestly, I prefer you tell me I don't like Tua than you try to give me a football explanation of why he's not good. Because you can't give me a football explanation of why he's not good. You can tell me why he's not as good as other people. I can live with that. But
Miss Fins.
Number 1 Tua fan.
Lies. He's the best. Miss Fins. I know she's bullshit. Oh, there she is. I knew it. I knew what she was doing. That ain't Miss Fins. She's a troublemaker.
Oh man,
guys! If you haven't, which I think I'm probably crazy because I know everybody's been, but if you haven't yet, go check out Miss Fins, friend in the network. Awesome.
She's the best. She's
one
the
of
best.
our great friends. One of my better friends here in the community. I appreciate her. Just got here. I didn't know who you guys were talking.
When in doubt is always talking about.
That's right. Yeah, she didn't even know. She just like 2 was a buzz. Like, wait, what? We were talking. Well, first we were talking Miami Heat, talk some Panthers, and we're saying if the Dolphins could follow the Heat and the Panthers, Miss Fins, and the equivalent, which is the AFC Championship. So let's touch on that, Alex.
Can you imagine that, Bob? Now that you say that, can you imagine that? We win the finals.
Imagine.
We win the Stanley Cup, and we go to the Super Bowl. Can you imagine?
Well,
that
I'm thinking the equivalent. I'm not trying to look past the Eastern Conference. I want to get past it first. I'm saying Eastern Conference and AFC Championship. I think that would be amazing. Championships are great. I want championships, but I'm just saying I'm trying to stick to it. You're overreaching. You're getting hypes up. You're gonna break people's hearts. That's what you do. That's a tall tale. Hey,
I'm just saying.
It is tall tale, Miss Fins, but I don't think it's impossible. So let's take a look at it, Alex. All right. Look, the Dolphins have the second toughest schedule in the NFL.
What a way to start week 1.
No doubt in my mind. Look, let me tell you, look in the schedule. It is a damn tough schedule. But let me tell you, the way it's mapped out is great for the mind, for the Dolphins. First off, going against the Dolphins, going against the Chargers and Justin Herbert. We were just talking about bust and whatever you want to call it with Justin Herbert into it. But going against a quarterback that Tua is going to be compared to for the rest of their careers for as long as they play is a great way to start. It's a great measuring stick for Tua and the Dolphins. The Dolphins lost last year. It was a bad game, bad coached game, bad quarterback play. It's time to redeem yourself in week 1 to start the season. Of course, then you get New England, Denver, Buffalo, week 4 at Buffalo, which is great for the Dolphins because you don't got to go to the snow. Get the job done. You got the Giants, who had a decent year last year with Brian Dable. Carolina with Bryce Young, who stands at 4'11" behind that line. So hopefully our defensive line could eat. Huge game. Week 7.
Like take a child to work day.
Yeah, right.
Quarterback took his son to work.
Week 7 at Sunday night at Philadelphia on Sunday Night Football. Going to be an amazing game, amazing atmosphere. Hurts versus Tua. That's going to be fun. Then you got in New England, week 8, and then the big game at Kansas City. I just want to talk about this. I'm very excited for this game, not because of what I hope to see on the field between these 2 teams, but because of the playing field. If this was at Kansas City, I would say, yeah, more than likely that's a loss because Kansas City in Arrowhead is a tough place to go and win. But this is in Germany. This is an even playing field. I think Miami has a shot to pull off a big-time upset here. I love that game in Germany. I think Miami has a huge opportunity. Then you got the bye at the perfect spot in week 10, mid-season. Great time to get everybody healthy. You got the Raiders. Then you got the Jets in New York, Black Friday, which is crazy. The Commanders in week 13. Titans at Monday Night Football. Jets at home. Dallas at home, which would be a fun game. In Baltimore, depending on who your quarterback. And again, if you're calling Tua injury prone with 13 games in the last 2 years, What is Lamar Jackson for a lot of Dolphin fans who wanted Lamar Jackson, who's only played 12 games last year and the year before, 2 years in a row? So which quarterback is playing? That might be a backup game. That might be Skylar Thompson versus Tyler Huntley. And then you got in Miami, Dolphins versus Buffalo would possibly be for the AFC East Championship. Alex, NFL at CBS had their record predictions popped up. I don't know who made it for them. Do you want to know what the Dolphins' record prediction was there?
What was it?
8-9.
Are you kidding me?
You know Omar Kelly had?
What?
9-8.
Dude, honestly, these people, I swear to God, man. I swear to God, bro.
So, listen, I'm not making any predictions yet. I want to see the final rosters. I don't think the Dolphins are done. Obviously, they showed that yesterday and today by signing 2 tackles, 2 former first-round picks. Nothing to be writing home about. The offensive line is not going to be fixed, whatever. But they're not done. They're making moves. So I'm going to wait for the roster to be done.
Leave this up for a second.
Go ahead.
Honestly, I look at this whole schedule. Week 7 against Philadelphia. I know it's going to be tough. But every other game that I look at, Buffalo, week 4, Denver doesn't scare me. Carolina doesn't scare me. New England doesn't scare me. The Chargers going to be a decent high-scoring game, but with our defense, I do see Herbert having some issues. New England doesn't scare me again. Kansas City doesn't. Vegas, the Raiders don't scare me. The Jets, Washington doesn't scare me. Tennessee doesn't scare me. Dallas, I'm not scared. At Baltimore could be a competitor depending like his injuries. Buffalo at home to win. We could go 16-1, Bob.
Say that one more time, Alex.
We can go 16-1 with the only loss being against Philadelphia week 7.
So let me put my. I love how I just want to say this. I just love how every comment before you make any comments, you always preferences. I'm not trying to be a homer. And then he goes and says, I'm completely over. No, I'm listening to you through. I'm not scared. You know, Bobby, it is like, you go, first he says the Heat could sweep. He said the Heat could sweep Boston.
Hey, I think they could sweep them.
Then he says Dolphins are going to go 15-1.
16-1.
16. I'm sorry. Oh, goodness.
No,
gracious.
I honestly, I have them going 13-4.
Okay.
I think we're going to lose.
Hedging your bet. So if the Dolphins do go 61, you're going to go, I told you.
Well, no. Realistic. I say 13-4. Hey man, that will be. Can you imagine that? Second perfect season, all the same squad.
Oh gosh. Listen, I'll just say this. I'm not making any predictions yet. What I am going to say is this: is that there's no way.
Vic
I can't
Fangio, bro.
If the Dolphins, first off,
Fangio.
if the Dolphins go 8-9 or 9-8 with this roster in the second year with this coaching staff, except for Vic Fangio, with Vic Fangio now coming on board, 8-9 or 9-8, heads are going to roll. There's no reason why any of these guys should stay employed. Not with the talent of this. Again, with or without Tua at quarterback. Let's say if Tua goes down with an injury, I still can't see this team going 9-8 or 8-9.
You can't with that
too
defense.
Talented. If it does, I don't want to hear, but Tua was out. BS. No. This team is too damn talented.
It has to be a major injury. That's the only, Bob. Honestly, that's the only way I see this happening. Maybe am I crazy though? Like, am I crazy when I hear 9-8 or 8-9? I'm like, my literal first thought is like, no way, bro. No,
I
way.
Can't. I can't. Again, I don't want to make predictions.
These analysts and these experts, what are they seeing that we're not seeing?
Which might be crazy because I might look at it later. But like, okay, so
are we being homers, Bob? Are we being homers or no?
I love you. I love you. There's no doubt. You're my brother. I love you to death. You're my brother. So, but you could be a very big homer. But I'll tell you when you're wrong. But you're not wrong here. There's no way the Dolphins go 8-9 and 9-8. Now 16-1. I think you're smoking something. And I know, but no, but like,
that shit happens.
Okay, okay. God, I don't want to do it, but I'm like, let me just look.
Okay, Bob. When do you think is our first loss?
Our first loss?
Yeah.
Honestly, if
I think Philadelphia.
Look, first off, no, well, you can't overlook some things first. First off, we don't know what Sean Payton and the Denver Broncos are going to do. Sean Payton's going to add a different element there. Russell Wilson struggled in his first year, but the Broncos are still a very talented team. If I had to say our first loss, but without actually getting the final rosters, and I do it all, you know me, I look at the rosters, I look at everything, I look at the records through their last year to this year and vice versa. Denver might be a team to look at, but I would say Buffalo, right? If you're going to put me on the thing right now, I'm going to say Buffalo, right? Okay. Giants, I think Miami's good. Carolina, I'm not worried about. Philadelphia, I'm with you. That's a team where I'm looking, I'm like, okay, that's going to be a tough-ass team. Patriots, you could easily split the series. Patriots are still the Patriots no matter what with Bill Belichick. But, Kansas City, I know we have a losing record overseas. Thank you to Ms. Fence for bringing it up. Vegas, I'm not concerned with Vegas. The Jets at New York on Black Friday in the Meadowlands. You shouldn't be concerned. But, hey, Aaron Rodgers is their quarterback. And we're facing real close together. You could split the series with them, maybe. Commanders, not concerned. Tennessee, depending what's going on with that. I'm not sure. Maybe, that could be a Derrick Henry game, and he could eat Miami's defense. It can happen. You hope not. Dallas is going to be an interesting game. I'm not really worried. I'm not worried about Baltimore. I really not. But it could happen. And then Buffalo again, that could be a loss. You never know. It happens. So
that's why I got 13-4, because I have like 4 games that I don't know where. But other games, and look, don't get me wrong, with those games that we think are secure, we might lay an egg, but I don't.
So, and let me just say to this point.
How is it a 9-8 team?
No. Stop. It's not about that though. It's not more. It's more. Listen, I'm gonna. First of all, last year, what was your record for the Dolphins last year? Be real.
I said 10-7. Did I say 10-7 or 12-5? I don't remember.
You said 12-5 because I said 10-7.
You said 10-7.
I know.
Okay,
and everybody went crazy on me. They were like, I said, well, the team went 9-8 last year, and they didn't really, they added Tyreek Hill. They added, they went. People were like, oh, they're good at Bobby. Oh, trust me, man. Top 5 offense, which they did go top 10. They did go top 5, but their defense fell apart. But I said there's still holes on this team. Now the team did get better, but again, even without Brian Flores, who was supposedly the big pariah who was holding everybody back and whatever, this team still went 9-8. And the only reason why they made it to the playoffs was not because the Dolphins earned the right to go into the playoffs. It was because the Patriots lost. So for someone to say, as a Miss Fins or a Omar Kelly, 9-8. Well, guess what? They've been 9-8 2 years in a row. Even with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle in the number of top 5 offense. And we could say Jalen Ramsey, but he has injuries sometimes. What about if he goes down? So I understand it. Show me the schedule. Once we get the rosters, show me your predictions and then tell me why. I can't see 8-9. I can understand 9-8 for some people because that's what's been on the table.
And I'll tell you
why.
But
I can't see again. 10-7 is the minimum for me.
Not even that.
10-7 is the minimum for me.
I'll tell you why. And I know and I understand exactly what she's saying, what you're saying. But there's 2 elements here. Number 1, Vic Fangio, defense. I'm not going to say anything else. Number 2, Mike McDaniel growing within his own comfort zone in regards to the running game, managing the game, things like that. That's why I don't see it.
Let me push back. And I'm not saying that you're wrong because I'm excited about Fangio. I was excited about his hire, but he's it's not like every defense of his has been great. He's been in the league for a long time. Not every defense of his has been great. Research it. It could happen.
Not great, but I believe his defenses were usually always top 10.
Research it. And then Mike McDaniel, you're hoping that he grows, just like we hope Tua grows, just like we hope he's going into his second year. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes someone like Adam Gase sticks to his guns.
No.
You can
see the difference in Mike McDaniel.
No, it does not matter about personalities. You could be 2 different personalities and still have the same concept.
That's the thing. Mike McDaniel
talk about the players on the field because it doesn't matter how smart McDaniel is and how he grows. It doesn't matter what Vic Fangio is over his history. If a player is not playing in the game or a player doesn't grow, it's not going to mean a damn thing.
Oh, no, of course, but that's when your depth comes in and your coaching.
But you brought up the coaches, though. You're bringing up coaches, but it's like, what about the players on the field?
Well,
players what happens to Terran Armstead if he goes down?
Well, I can't control that. What I'm talking about is in regards to the coaching availability.
But that counts because if he goes down and the Dolphins lose 2 games because the offensive line is shit all of a sudden, well, but I thought Vic Fangio might be Daniel. But that's why it's a bigger picture. It's not just those 2 guys. We got to talk about the roster.
when we're talking about record prediction, that you're not going to. Right now, you can predict New York Jets are going to go 10-7, but if Aaron Rodgers goes down, that prediction goes to shit. You're doing predictions based on healthy players on your roster. So
I don't.
obviously, well, that's you got it. You can't just predict you can't predict. Kansas City's going to go undefeated. It's going to go 13-4, and they're going to win the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes tears his ACL. There goes that prediction. You're not going to
really
count
tears
for that.
anything. You could be
But
confident
you don't
enough
know that. You don't know that.
But you could be confident to know that he usually lasts the season. You could say Tua's going to miss a couple games this year.
Yeah, you could do
that. You could predict.
But realistically, in a perfect world, talent against talent and coaches against coaches, you see the vision that they have. And for the only when you said about the comparison with McDaniel and Gase, they're not even in the same stratosphere to me, in my opinion. Because number one,
you like McDaniel.
No, not because I don't. It's not because I like McDaniel. He was accountable for when he made mistakes, and he even said it himself. You never heard Adam Gase say that.
I'm not saying they're the same coach. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is it could be the same trajectory. You don't know. You're saying, oh, Mike McDaniel's going into his second year. You're kind of hoping and praying he's going to grow. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they go, no, man, I'm going to stick with the passing game. I'm going to get that better.
We'll see it. We'll see it on Sundays when they play. But I believe
Mondays
he's
or
going
Thursdays.
To make a change. Yeah, if you want to get technical, asshole. Or at 1 p.m. or at 4 p.m.
Yeah, I mean,
which
see, that's the problem with you. You leave shit out. You go out and start throwing these fucking things, bro. And then you're like, oh, well, I didn't think about that.
Can you predict this? It was like, oh, what happens if he turns ACL? I take that into account when I predict my games. No, you don't. You don't take it into account.
I fucking do. That's why I said 10-7, because I knew Tua wasn't going to last the season, and I knew damn well Armstead wasn't going to play every game.
You knew Tua was going to get 6 concussions.
Research his career.
I have researched his career.
No, you haven't, because if you did, you know what we're talking about.
Oh, my Lord, bro. Once again, Tua is not injury prone because he had concussions.
Oh my God!
That's not an injury prone, bro.
God,
you gotta get that out of your
head. Somebody's gonna watch our show and say, "What the hell is this guy doing on air?"
They should watch our show and then be like, "Damn, Alex the Boy is a very reasonable person."
Alex the Boy, that's why he's the boy, because he hasn't grown up.
Crazy.
He's still living in fantasy land.
A gringo.
That's why.
I love you. We just got canceled in like 4 countries.
Look, right there. Bam. Read it, Alex. Man. What did she say? What did she say?
You can say it's a homer alert when the Dolphins are 13-4. Okay, that's okay. Don't look at me. Remember, we have
no one's usually looking at you. We hear you though.
First AFC.
We smell the bullshit coming out of your mouth.
In the AFC East, the Dolphins are going to be the number 1 seed in the AFC. Number 1 seed. Uno.
One of these days, Alex, one of your predictions are going to come true, and I'm going to applaud you. You
see? Thank you, Moya. Perfect.
That's awesome, Moya. He's not injury prone. He's just prone to injury. Yes.
But okay, multiple injuries, and obviously in college he had the major hip surgery
every year.
But when he got the first year obviously he didn't start because Fitzpatrick.
But he still got hurt. He got hurt during that year too. Go ahead.
How did he get hurt? What was it? His ankle?
I thought you researched.
No, man, I'm not talking.
You said you looked. You said you looked back. Man, you said you checked. So you're full of shit. That's what you're saying.
No, I'm not full of shit. You know exactly what I'm saying.
That's why you didn't become a lawyer. Because you're not good at what you do.
If it wasn't for his concussions last year, what other injury did he have? Because that was no back injury. That was a concussion.
When you talk about Tua's injuries, you go sing it like a song, like that rap song. My neck, my back, my ankle, and my crack. It's all Tua. That's Tua's song. And now it's a concussion.
Man, I'm telling you, bro.
This is the year he does it. This is the year. If he misses a game, that's okay. He misses 2 games. All right. 3, 4, 5. I'm going to look right at you. I'm going to go, I told you. And you're going to go, no, bro.
Well, that's when the organization
he broke his toe, bro. It's not the same. The toe is different from the back. It's not a concussion, though, Bobby.
Higher ankle sprain. That was last year?
That's his whole life. Dude, when he came out of his mom, it's a boy. Oh, crap, he broke his toe. That's like, oh, shit, well, here we go.
Birth is traumatic.
Yeah, that's right.
I wonder how many kids have a concussion.
God bless him, dude. Hope he has a great year this year, health-wise. What'd you say?
I wonder how many kids have a concussion during the birth process. Because, I mean, you're squeezing. Your head is all shapes, man.
That's why I didn't come out the other way. I came out through the stomach. Yeah. Like, hell no. Whoa, facts.
No, I told them this not about the research, man. It's like
you said, bro. You were like, I did research. Apparently, you did it.
When did I say? I never said I did research,
guys. Alex, people are watching you, dude. The
What
guy,
did I
this is
say?
what
I did research,
first off,
bro.
let me just say this. I grew up with this guy. You're living what I lived.
You told me to
life.
do research in regards
He
to
just
Big
talks.
Fangio. I
You
didn't
said
tell
you
about anything
did.
about research.
You said
no,
you
I
did.
didn't. I never
You
said
said you
I did
did.
research. What would I do research on Tua's injury if we've talked about?
Because you talk so much shit. Bobby's not injury
Oh
prone.
my
I'm like, dude,
God,
research
bro.
his career.
Dude, concussions.
First thing, as soon as you open it up, chapter 1, got injured.
Prone.
Chapter 2,
If he just
stubbed his toe, was out
did
for
he
a
have
year.
a
It's like,
concussion before? He had his first concussion last year, supposedly.
That- he can have
that's
his
not
first
an injury prone, bro. Concussions, injury prone is like with Troy Aikman. He had multiple concussions, multiple years, led to his retirement.
But it's not. He's had multiple concussions. It's not like, oh, he's injury prone because he had a concussion. No, it's in addition to. It's not just. But and he hurt his back last year. It's addition to. It's another injury. Just because next year he breaks his nose and he's out for 3 games because he has to put a mask on. It's like, oh, but bro, that's not injury prone because he's never had a broken nose.
My opinion.
Your opinion
Last year, if it wasn't for the concussions, what major injury did he have?
His back.
But that wasn't his back. That was a concussion, bro.
They said his back. That's what the Dolphins said.
Man,
the Dolphins said about it. You're calling him a liar?
Yeah, I am calling him a liar. The only reason we talked last year about his injury history is because he had the concussions last year. If he wouldn't have the concussions, he misses a game because of a high ankle sprain or whatnot. You're not talking about that. That's not even a topic of discussion. But he missed 6 games. What? Because of the concussions last year, man. You know this. But he's not research, Bob. Do your research.
He's apparently more than you.
Oh, in regards to
I just want to say, Tati asked me this the other day. I must just say straight out because I ain't scared. She said, "Does Alex have a lot of?" You guys are childish. She goes, Alex is he very sports knowledgeable? I said, Alex knows how to play sports, but when it comes to sports knowledge, it's all me, babe. It's been like that.
Oh no! Whoa!
Heat talk, football talk.
Whoa.
Can Alex coach a game? Can Alex coach?
First and
yes,
foremost.
He can. Can he play? He does it all. I could say he's athlete-wise, okay. But when it comes to sports knowledge, I mean, talk about research. Research our history.
I'll give you football knowledge in technical terms, but overall sports knowledge, you can't touch me, man.
Nah, brother.
You can't touch me.
Justice.
You can't touch me.
Hassan.
Oh, I know Tati.
Dolphins.
Yes, here we go with a Hassan.
Yes, you did.
And
yes, you did.
Jesus
yes, you did.
Christ, bro.
Yes, you did.
Bobby always gonna flip it, no matter what. Don't
flip it. Facts are facts, man.
Always.
Facts are facts.
Tati. It's okay. I believe.
Bull crap. Whatever. I'm glad this is all recorded. I'm glad this is all recorded now, so we could. You don't have to go try to redirect history.
I'm not trying. I'm telling you.
Revisionist history that Alex does.
I'm telling you straight up. First of all, I don't have to do.
That's why I say a prayer. I say a prayer for Jamila every night, having to deal with your ass because of the shit I know now. I say a prayer for her every night for God to give her grace.
We appreciate your consideration, your thoughts and considerations. Oh man, it's funny when people, for example, you and me are doing this obviously to a lesser scale.
Yeah.
When you have like Stephen A. Smith and Jalen Rose and all these players, that's a whole different aspect. And now that you say that, at what point do you even? Because before, I remember you always knew which sportcaster and which analyst rooted for certain teams. Mm-hmm. But at this point, they're just bluntly just talking about their team. They're not even doing a game analysis and giving kudos with certain teams. They're just talking about who they like. That's like me and you doing our local show and talking about our teams. That's cool. But ESPN is just allowing this, obviously for the ratings. But at a point, you have to it just gets old, bro. Like Stephen A. Smith has the same take every single time. He's going to be super loud about something, but he's just going to say some random shit. But it's funny because obviously it gets the attention.
Well, I can understand again. You're on a national thing. You're being don't insult Manning.
I don't think we insulted Manning.
Who's Manning?
Peyton Manning.
Oh,
remember,
she's behind. Oh, wait till she gets towards the end of the show. She's gonna love it.
That's her retarded husband.
The R word. It's not cool.
Oh, I'm sorry. Once again, my apologies. I didn't mean this offensive.
There goes the executive producer. The executive producer's yelling at you now.
You got to have a little.
Now Tati knows you're a dickhead. She knows that.
My apologies. Listen, okay. Technically, those weren't my words. Those were Jamila's words. So I was just repeating them. So technically, this isn't my fault. But I mean, it's funny though. like out of the whole history of helmets, Peyton Manning is the only person that when he removes his helmet, he has a big mark, a big ass red mark in the smacking of his forehead.
You're talking about at birth. You know damn well he came straight out with that long head, that
bro.
elongated head. He just
You saw that shit? They never put it back in place. They just left
they
it.
never refitted it. You know, they just.
It's funny. They put the helmet too late. Like he should have just put the helmet.
They put it the wrong way. Archie put it like this, and his head got longer. I'm like, damn, dude. Jimmy looks like Alex.
He looks like Stewie, but like upside down.
Oh gosh.
I'm
I wanted to talk about
this.
something, but you missed me.
It's been a pleasure, guys. I'm not going to be on next week.
Alex will not be joining us tomorrow night for coverage of the draft lottery. He has been canceled.
But all joking aside, I don't mean any insult to anybody. I really don't. I'm just joking about it.
No, he would never make fun of himself like that.
Never, never,
you know,
never. Some of us are just born different. It's true, man. It's true. There's a beauty in that.
Oh my gosh.
Am I digging a deeper hole down there? Am I going down?
Keep going, Alex. Might as well. You already dug the grave.
Hey, I'm already there, bro.
Put the dirt over you.
There.
You're already
There's
done.
oil already all over me, so I'm done.
Between your bullshit takes and your bad your bad things, you're just.
I'm the Stephen A. Smith of the Finns Talks.
That's right. That's right. I'm not trying to be a homer, but the Dolphins going undefeated. Let me tell you why. Because Tua's greater than Dan Marino.
That's what he's fucking doing. That's what basically he's doing. There's no analysis there.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I can understand you being a fan going, man, I'm just excited to see the Knicks. They're in this area now. They're in the Eastern Conference semifinals. I am hoping that Madison Square Garden. Like, I can understand that. But then going, you know, and then being unbiased and giving your legit opinion. But to go, Jimmy Butler is playing damn well, and I hate how he always says, like, you know, Jimmy Butler's my friend, you know, and we go way back. But I just want to tell you why he's going to lose this, and he's trash. It was like, wait, what?
They always try to balance him out. They always try to balance him out with a legit analyst. And I love when JJ Redick is there. Out of everybody there, I love JJ Redick. And
JJ
I would be surprised that he got interviewed for the Toronto job, Bob. For the Raptors job?
He should. But I still think that oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm forgetting her name.
Becky Hammond.
Yes, she needs to get one, dude. She needs a job. She needs to get a head coaching gig.
She will be the first female head coach in NBA history.
It should be this year. It has to be this year. He learns nothing from his HR. I know, you would think.
Look, this is honestly, I'm gonna peel back the curtains a little bit. My wife, she's an HR.
Is that what you said on your wedding night? I'm gonna peel back the curtains a little bit. Here it is.
Yeah, get ready.
And
baby.
she went, what?
Bam. Research. No, it's like she's HR. So my wife is super professional, super eloquent when she speaks in her office time.
In her office time. I was about to say, who are you talking about? I'm just kidding. I love you, Jimmy.
I always tell her that she has like the HR on, like she literally turns it on and off. So I can have a random conversation. And in my mind, obviously, I'm not trying to insult anyone or anything, but I always have like, she's like the little HR devil and like the little HR angel. So like every time it's like, I want to say something, she'll be like next to me. She's like, don't say that. You can't say that. Like literally what Tati said right there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. She would, because Bob, me and you speak how we think.
Yes.
We're from an era, we didn't get offended.
Nope.
We didn't get insulted by people. But now you have to be so respectful and technical with absolutely everything. Even when it's a joke, I understand our platform. Don't get me wrong, and I respect it. But I do believe people have to have, I mean, what I said today, obviously, I shouldn't say. But in regards to the overall climate that we're living, you cannot be your natural self anymore. Like just two guys hanging out, talking to each other on this platform. We could do it alone. Like we're like Ja Morant right now. Dude, you do everything you want to do. Don't turn on IG Live. Simple. Save yourself a whole lot of money. Save yourself a whole lot of trouble. But, here she goes with another comment. Same age. However you take it too far. Well, in comedy, what is too far?
Did you go too far?
Too deep. I guarantee you, she's going to write a comment.
Yeah, she's going to write you up to HR. Sure. You're going to come to your room. She's going to go, we have to have a talk. Like, oh, damn it. I'm offended that you're offended. I love Miss Fins, man. She's awesome.
This
Miss Fins needs to put her Miss Heat hat on and needs to come tomorrow night. Man. We need to have her on for the draft lottery.
We got to change her little Twitter handle. We got to change it to Miss Heat.
Just for tomorrow night. Get her on
Or
the
Miss
show tomorrow night.
Culture.
Talk
Miss
Heat.
Culture. I like Miss
Miss
Culture.
Culture.
Miss Culture.
Yes.
I liked it.
Oh, dude. Damn. Let me copyright that for a second. She's in it. I'm just playing.
Hurry up.
She's my girl. She can do it. Miss Fins, if you're free tomorrow night, we're going to start at 8:15. We got the draft lottery. Then we're talking Heat Celtics. If you're free, you tell me, message me. I'm going to send you the link. I would love to have you on. We're going to have so much fun, just like we're having now. Performance management.
And honestly,
that could go both ways. No.
She cannot be upset at me because I literally repeated her words at all. So I'm by default, I think legally. You see, Miss Coaches, that sounds amazing. It is.
I'll send you the link. And you know what? I'm trying to remember to create a graphic just for her. Just say Miss Culture in the house, aka Miss Fins.
Boom.
I love it. But oh gosh, it's been a lot of fun. Anyway, I love Jamila. Look at you. The internet's forever, Alex. You're acting like a boy.
Well, I am Alex, the boy.
I know. Oh, there it is. Dum-dum.
Awesome. Here all day, folks. Well,
That's
just
right.
for today because I won't be back tomorrow. So
Yes.
it's like one of those like temporary, like the Legends of the Black.
You're gonna have to a prepared statement.
Yeah.
You're gonna be like this. I just want to say, I'm very sorry for my words yesterday,
Bro. Honestly, okay, Bob. Now that you mentioned that, I love. To me, those things are so funny. The moment people apologize, the moment they get caught. I said it for that reason. You lose.
La Hoosers.
But to me, it's so hilarious when people, obviously, because it's a PR move. Everybody knows it's a PR move, but you still have to come up like a jackass and just read this prepared statement from your agent, from your PR firm, and apologizing. And the best part to me, this is the first line. This doesn't represent who I am. Yes, it does, bro. That represents exactly who you are. The problem is you got caught, and now you're gonna apologize because you don't want to lose. Number one, it's money driven. You don't want to lose your investment. You don't want to lose your contract. You don't want to lose anything. You don't want to face repercussions. You don't want to lose your endorsements. So I really hate that part. That is so, this doesn't represent who I am. I'm a big believer. When the lights are off and when no one is looking and you act a certain way, that's exactly who the fuck you are. And it bothers me when people just come out and bluntly say, this doesn't represent, I'm going to go to counseling. I'm going to improve myself. Really? Were you going to go to counseling if you wouldn't get caught? Were you going to apologize if you didn't get caught for saying that or doing that? No, man. I'm not representing you because you mean what you say. Is she talking about me again?
And what I love
about me?
I just say, as Tatiana is my wife in the comments, and then you got Jamila, which is Alex's wife.
Sorry you got caught, people. That boss, what Tati said is true. Sorry you got, bro. Every time I read one of those things, I laugh so hard because I just look at their eyes and I'm like, this guy or this person doesn't give a shit about what they're saying. They just need to say it. Well, honestly, this whole situation with John Morant, I want to bring it up to light, just for the fact of when you're young and people sometimes call it like young and dumb and rich, you make stupid decisions. John Morant is going through a situation where this is really not the person that John Morant is. He's trying to, I want to say, identify with a certain class or a certain group of individuals to improve his on-court behavior, quote unquote, to prove his street credibility. But this goes down to the notion where a bunch of people are doing what he's doing, but it goes to the part of having to show the world what you're doing. If John Morant and his crew were not on IG Live yesterday, none of this would have happened. It's a non-story. No one knows what's going on. But it's the fact of I have to show the world what I'm doing that it gets a lot of these people in trouble. When you're young, you're going to make mistakes. But the culture right now, the atmosphere, the day-to-day of in this country when it regards to guns, you have to have self-awareness, especially when the precursor is that you already had a situation with guns and you were warned by your employer, by the NBA, to please not do this again. You come out with a statement in an interview with Jalen Rose and talking about this doesn't represent who you are. I need to act smartly, this and that. Obviously, part of the song came up and he just waved the gun and they captioned it. And the crazy thing about this, Bob, he can face a lengthy suspension for next year. And this was a video that was only seen at the time by like 90 something people or 100 people. Someone took a screen image, like the screenshot of him waving the gun, and obviously it blew up. So moments and times, that error in judgment can affect you in the long term. And people, I guess in that regards, people just have to be a little bit more conscious of what they're doing and who you're with, because not everybody has your best interest in mind. And you're young, and things are like, the internet is forever. I understand. You can't quote unquote something and actually be what you're saying. Oh, that's not even an HR correction. That's just a general statement correction. I see. Yeah, but we actually have, and don't get me wrong, this is a big dilemma when it comes to the Second Amendment. I do firmly believe in the rights to own weapons. I am against assault rifles. Like, there's no reason you need to have an assault rifle, legally or illegally. But the problem is, in regards to the state where he was in, we had this and we were talking about in our group chat. It's about, even if it's an open carry, it has to be in a holster. So even at the time, it looks like it's something careless. It's something that could be harmful potentially. So it does become a situation where it's an optics situation. Like I said, I don't agree or disagree. It's just a situation that we're in. And it goes back a lot of people to the whole Gilbert Arena situation with the guns in the locker rooms and this, like that. The NBA, Bob, they're going to take a stand because they don't want to get out of control.
Yeah, I think I would not rule out a year suspension because it's kind of like they already smacked him on the wrist. Man. Now they already smacked his wrist, and then he does it again. It's like, yeah, you're on your private time and all that. And, it's not like he just took it out, but it's illegal to take it out. And like you said, we did talk about it in our private chat where I believe Neil, who is a prosecutor, really explained why it's in detail why it's a bigger deal. And really, I think it's a big deal because it's a bad look, dude. You got in trouble for this already. Now, you're just showing it, but God, you're not really showing that you're smart right now. And he's a dude. We were just talking about being a top 10 player in the NBA last year, coming into this season being a top 10 player, and there was a lot of distractions. Like, dude, what the are you doing?
No, and what it could
you could be on top of the world, and what you're going to do to
Memphis? The Memphis Grizzlies could be set back for years
if he messes this up.
Yeah.
So what's up, Violet? Mr. Kimmel, watching Monday Night Raw, the biggest WWE fan in the world, checking in.
It's funny because every time I see Violet comment, I can only see Kimmel. That's it.
I know.
I can't unsee.
I see him. He's an awesome. He didn't have a show last night because it was Mother's Day, so he took the day off. But he'll be back next week. He had a show today. Lies. Me and him are
happy.
He's an AEW guy. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Miss Jamila, Tati, Mrs. Violet, and so forth. But I was just going to say, he'll be back next week. He was on today with Beer and Sports, which was awesome. He's going to be back on next Sunday for another Once Upon a Sunday. But yeah, he well, I don't want to say he hates. I don't want to use that
word.
Which,
by the way, Bob, I think that's a great name. It's an amazing name.
Which one?
Once Upon a Sunday.
What isn't that awesome?
Amazing.
Name? Let me tell you something. I'm going to say this. And I've told him to his face. I'll tell him here. Alex, fantasy football to us. Every year we play fantasy football. But it's like right before the start of the season, we do the draft. And then at the end of the season, we're done. We go each week. We update the rosters. We do. You and I think we're putting in a lot of work into this. And maybe we do 2 to 3 leagues and then we get the hell out and we're done. I did not know. I'm ignorant as hell. I did not know there's people that play even when the season is over. They're hosting draft. There's Dynasty League where it's like an actual offseason. You have a whole team for your whole life or whatever. Like I remember when we first talked and I told this story. And I think it's so funny. He's like, I watched his show and he's like, join the channel. Awesome. He's like, all right, great. We'll go this weekend. And I'm like, okay,
what
cool.
Do you have to talk about?
And I'm going like, yeah, well,
what
are we
going
to talk about? I mean, it's so random. And then like the first show I'm listening to it, I'm going, what? Like I'm today years old. I was today years old and I found out there's more to this. And I'm like totally intrigued. And plus, him drinking water all the time compared to coffee and making me feel so inadequate. And, he's a great guy, Mr. Kimmel.
He's questioned everything you do in your life.
I mean, fantasy football, we don't agree on anything most of the time. He's a Dolphins fan. But like wrestling, like, Charlotte Flair's legit. He's like, no, she sucks. I'm like, what are you talking about? You know, WWE, AEW, you know.
That's the beauty. That's the beauty about sports and everything in general, honestly. Like the season never ends.
Baby.
Hey,
Adam Cole, baby. That's
I always knew that there was more to fantasy football, especially those dynasty leagues. I didn't know the extent of the offseason.
You know, but it makes it like, oh, don't draft this guy. But no, this guy's going to be the shit. Yeah, for this year. But what team is he going to be on next year? You don't know what team. So don't touch him.
Like
it goes deep. But I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like a never ending. They're like legit football GMs. It's a never ending job.
It's so, you know, and like the thing, like I'm writing down like, oh, maybe I'll do this, and then I go, I'll take this player. And like that would be the little time him and Viking Dave, who's his co-host, or whoever, they have great guests who come on. They're like, no, I want to draft that player. That player sucks. I have to cross the name off the list. I'm like, I don't want to draft that player now. You know, it's like, you know, it's a great show. All I'm saying is tune in Sunday nights, 8:00.
Very
Eastern
insightful.
Time.
Very insightful.
Awesome show. But hey, listen, we're at an hour and a half.
Jesus, we're at an hour and a half already?
We had a lot of fun tonight.
Holy shit.
I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Don't forget, tomorrow night we do have Real Talk Fins Talk starting at 7:30 Eastern. Steve Malloy, Rob Mosley of DolphinsThirsty.com going to be here on Fins Talk Sports Night. Tune in, talk Dolphins with them. And then at 8:15 Eastern, we're going to have NBA Draft Lottery coverage. Me, Alex, Clutch, maybe Miss Fins or Miss Culture. That she's what we'll call her tomorrow, if she's okay with that. And maybe we'll see if we get one of the other guys to join us. If not, we're gonna have a great show. We're gonna have fun. Tune in, join us.
It's still up in the air if I'm gonna be there. We don't know yet.
Yeah, I'll decide if I have to let them go.
We have to see.
But I'll drop the link as well in case we want to bring some people on just to talk basketball. We're gonna be talking basketball tomorrow. Not only gonna talk draft lottery, who's gonna have the number 1 overall pick? Who are they gonna take? We know who they're gonna take. And then we're gonna talk Heat Celtics with Clutch and Alex. And Miss Fins if she could join us. Until then, guys, Alex, any final thoughts? We're doing the Cuban goodbye. We're trying to say goodbye, but we're going a little longer. But any final thoughts?
No, it's pretty much. I want to apologize to everybody I offended thoroughly throughout the show today. I see I offended a few people, especially a part of our network and our wives.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You should have just ended it that way, bro. It's like the hard network out from Greg Cody. I thought you were gonna do it, bro. That's the favorite part, man. You've seen this, right, Bob? The hard network out with Dan Levitard.
No, I didn't. No,
man! Every time they do Greg Cody, they always set him up. Like they're gonna ask him a question when there's like 2 seconds left before like the hard network out, and they always set him up to give this elaborate.